So, the big question on the table today is, should I write a book or do a TEDx talk? Welcome to the channel. I'm Sarah Cannell, and I'm so happy you're here because I have written 5 books. I'm about to finish my
Wow.
6th book. I have spoken at TEDx. Probably much more excitingly, I have helped thousands of people around the world who are coaches, experts, entrepreneurs, content creators, write best-selling books, speak on stages, very much including TEDx. And what I want to talk about today is the question we get asked, and it's not really a chicken or an egg, but there is this question of, if I'm going to make an investment in what I'll call a thought leader asset, something that is going to boost my credibility and visibility and authority and all these different things, is it book or TEDx? And we're going to break this down today, and stick with me until the end, because I'll also help recommend the videos if you want to do either one of those things that are going to help you with the shortcuts and systems that I have and help our clients at Thought Leader Academy. I want to preface this by saying I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of, TEDx first, book first. What I want to probably, drive home is that if you are a mission driven, meaning you are here in the world, making a difference, wanting to help people on your purpose, feel called to change lives with your thought leadership, then you are likely going to want to do both of these things. Okay. If you're a serious thought leader that is on a mission to change the world and change the game and change lives, you're in the right place. And I'm glad you're here with the channel, and make sure to subscribe so you can get all of the videos that we put out. Also, you are likely going to want to do both of these things, but let's talk about which one would be the right one to do, or at least the next one to do for you. Okay, so book versus TEDx. I feel like we should have like battle it out, WWF. So both of these things are going to do something similar for you if you haven't already done a book or a TEDx talk. The first is they're going to give you instant credibility. Being a published author, especially when 100% of the people that use our step-by-step process in Thought Leader Academy finish their books, but not only did they finish them, they publish them and get on the bestseller list with their book. And the people that follow our step-by-step TEDx process, which we have another video for, all have landed a TEDx talk. So there is a system to these things. There is a process that will make these thought leader assets successful. And one of the really neat things that they do, of course, is probably why you're watching this video to begin with, is that doing a TEDx talk and doing a book gives you instant credibility. They are things we value in society, and we ascribe the status of expert and even thought leader to people who have taken the time and developed enough mastery and expertise to write a book on a topic. We have even a phrase in our culture, right? You wrote the book on it. And people that have been selected, because TEDx, you can't just go give one, you have to be selected and apply and all of that. We ascribe credibility to that. So both of these assets are going to give you credibility. If that's all you care about, I would say just do with the one that sounds more fun. Do you feel like it's more fun to, apply to TEDx and speak on that beautiful, red circular carpet? Or do you love the idea of like having a book with your name on it and having that legacy piece for yourself? All right. So they're both going to give you credibility. Now, they're both also going to give you some visibility. When you have a book come out, it's exciting. You get to post about it and share about it. And it's a reason to communicate with people and celebrate and get new eyes on what you're doing. And your TEDx talk will be the same. Again, because we give value and status to these things, whether you agree that we should or not, that is where we are. And so you are going to have a credibility boost and a visibility boost with either of those thought leader assets. Now, the next thing to consider is a TEDx talk. While it can be very impactful, and I have some very specific ways that I recommend you use your TEDx talk after you give it, which again is a whole nother video, which is how to leverage your TEDx talk after you do it. It is shorter, right? TEDx talks now are averaging about 12 minutes. And so you will have less time with the audience or watcher of the TEDx video than you will with a reader of a book, provided that they stick with the book. So you do have a little bit of a differentiator here in terms of where it is you really want to take people. What are the other outcomes that you want out of your book or your TEDx process? So those of you that want to have client attraction, you want the credibility, you want the visibility, both of these assets will give you that. If you want to use your thought leader asset for client attraction, then I'm going to recommend you go book over TEDx, at least first. And the reason why, especially again, if you watch the video we have on I reverse engineered 100 New York Times bestselling books to find out what they all did. What were the strategies and moves that they all used? If you write a book using those strategies, which are, simple to break down and employ, then you are going to have a higher likelihood of attracting a client through the book than a TEDx talk, merely because you have more real estate and time. But the way that I teach books, you're going to embed interactive resources. So someone goes from a reader to someone that you're in a relationship, from reader to relationship. And then you can follow up with that person. You can invite them to, if you're someone that is a coach, or you have, you can have a discovery call, a sales call, and you can have someone move into further work with you. A TED Talk, you don't have the way to embed an interactive resource, although you can create a funnel out of your TEDx talk, and then you could use in a similar way, but you'll have less of an opportunity to really take someone through your proprietary framework, your 10 steps, your 3 months, whatever it is, like you would in a book format than you would in a TEDx talk. So I'd say if client attraction is a top priority, I'm going to go book over TEDx as your next thought leader asset. In terms of using your thought leader asset to open other doors for, let's say, other types of speaking, for doing joint ventures, other partnerships that you might want to do to get on the radar as more of a recognized thought leader. Again, both the best-selling book and the TEDx talk are going to be, effective in terms of the credibility. However, a book is still going to come out ahead of a TEDx talk if you want to have more speaking engagements and more joint ventures. Now, that might not make sense because a TEDx is a talk. So you think that should book you more speaking engagements. It can. But in my experience, and what research shows, is that podcast producers of media, TV shows, radio shows, people that are booking speakers for their conferences value having authors with a book more than experts that do not have a book by 80%. It does not mean you cannot book talks without having a book. You can. Of course you can. People do. I'm saying you're going to book more and you're going to get paid more for those talks. They love podcast producers, and people love having someone on. It's like they've got their new book out. You much less frequently hear, we have the author of the new bestseller, da da da. You hear that a lot more frequently than, we're here today by TEDx speaker, fill in the blank. Unless your TEDx goes so viral, like a Brene Brown or a Simon Sinek, or someone who then writes a book about the TEDx talk, which is a great way to go as well. So we're coming out on book here if we use the criteria: credibility, visibility, client attraction, which equals revenue generation, and opening the door to more speaking. These are the kinds of things that most of our clients come to us interested in having me coach them on: becoming an author, becoming a speaker, making a real difference through thought leadership, and then being able to, what we call, monetize the mission, which is using your thought leader assets, your book, your TEDx talk, to create more revenue through the transformational work that you provide. Those are the components of this overall thought leader pathway that we train on here at this channel. So the question for you is, what's most important? What's most important to you? I want you to write down now, what do you want your next thought leader asset to give you in priority order? If it's just visibility or just credibility, you pick the TEDx or the book, whichever one's more fun for you. If it is about client attraction and opening the door to more speaking engagements, I'm going to come in on the side of book based on research and my own experience in coaching thousands of people on this over the last 20 years. All right. So the big question now is, which one are you going to choose? And what's your next step? So look for the prompts in the notes for other videos you can watch if you decide you're going book next, for how to set up that client attracting, revenue generating, door opening book, or what do you need to know about TEDx specifically this year, because things have changed in the TEDx world and you might be drawn to do TEDx next. So we've got videos you might want to watch on both of those to break down some of the secret master strategies that really work to expedite your process and exponentially increase your success. I'm going to have a little PS here at the end, which is, ultimately you do have to decide if you feel like writing. Okay. So a book is a bigger commitment in some ways than a TEDx talk, although you will need to do a fairly extensive TEDx application and video and process around that. So it's not necessarily like it's so much easier to do the TEDx versus the book. But if you absolutely loathe writing and you don't have someone who can partner with you and guest write with you, then I would say in that case, trust your talents and your zone of genius and go TEDx. I'm really excited that you're here and I'm excited to see what you create. I want to hear in the comments so that we can get a poll in real time with all of you watching TEDx versus book. Which one is it going to be? And then I want to hear about it when you create your next asset. I'm really excited. Keep coming back to the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you learned anything from this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that we can keep bringing you the kind of content that's going to help you win really big. Because when you win and bring your thought leadership into the world, the people that receive, your readers and your audience members and your viewers win, and then the world changes, which is a win for everyone. I'll see you in the next video.